All right, today we're going to dive deep into a pretty intense campaign to protect a nation's stability. We're talking about a story of cutting-edge tech, super precise strikes, and a relentless strategy against threats that are hiding right under our noses.
So take a look at this. This is basically the master plan, the entire strategy laid out. You see, on one side, you have these really sophisticated plots designed to just tear the country apart. And on the other, you've got these fortified criminal zones that are basically acting like their own little countries. The response has to be a two-pronged attack, using high-tech to hunt down fugitives and then launching these massive operations to take back territory.
Okay, first up, let's look at how these ideas work in a city, where the front line could literally be a quiet suburban street.
Now you have to understand, this battle started way before any shots were fired. Intelligence monitors got wind of a terrorist group getting ready to launch something they called Satan's Plot. The goal here wasn't just to react to an attack, but to get way ahead of it, to dismantle the whole thing before it could even begin.
The linchpin of this whole plot was one guy, a high-value target, a really dangerous fugitive who'd escaped prison years back. He managed to sneak back into the country using a fake passport, but, he couldn't hide from modern tech. This advanced faceprint technology, which basically analyzes all the unique parts of your face to create a digital signature, well, it flagged him. And from that second on, he was being tracked, step by step.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Surveillance, probably using drones and all sorts of other gear, mapped out this villa. And let me tell you, this was not just a house, it was an operations room. I mean, you can see armed lookouts on the roof, cameras mounted on the walls, and this is the critical part. A whole cargo of super high-risk explosives being moved inside. They turned a regular home into a fortress.
Which brings us to 0 hour. With a threat this explosive, this volatile, there is absolutely zero margin for error. We're talking about a cell working with complex, really dangerous explosives. So the assault team had to move in with surgical precision, taking out the threats without setting off a massive, catastrophic explosion. There was just no room for a single mistake.
So here's the crucial takeaway. This was a preemptive victory. The mission wasn't just a success, it was a knockout blow. They aborted the entire plot just moments before it was supposed to launch. They got total control, secured all those complex explosives, and saved an entire neighborhood from what would have been a complete disaster.
All right, now let's completely shift gears. We're moving from a single house in the suburbs to a massive, sprawling fortress out in the desert run by a whole criminal empire.
So this place is called the Magic and Beauty region. Yeah, don't let the name fool you. The reality is pretty grim. This area had become one of the country's biggest, most notorious hubs for drug trafficking. And it wasn't just some simple hideout. It was a castle, a fortress, where armed fugitives gathered to defend their illegal business with absolute ferocity.
I mean, think about what the forces were up against. These criminals were dug into fortified concrete bunkers. They had a whole arsenal of heavy weapons, and they were ready to fight to the death. They used the wide-open, rugged desert as their best defense, making any normal approach super visible and incredibly dangerous.
And this is where the tech comes in and just completely flips the script. Before the operation even started, Advanced Systems created a complete 3D topographical map of the entire area. This revealing map, as they called it, exposed every single bunker, every hideout, every inch of that desert. The criminals' biggest advantage, the terrain, was gone. There was literally nowhere left for them to hide.
So with that map, the next phase was all about stealth. To keep that element of surprise, the forces began what they called the March of Silence, a long, grueling walk across completely open, dangerous ground. They moved as one single unit, in the pitch black of night, using night vision to see. I mean, every single step was a huge risk.
And the result of all that meticulous planning? It was swift and it was decisive. The operation unfolded in stages. First, suppressive fire to pin the enemy down, then targeted explosions to breach their defenses, and finally, a full advance to secure the whole area. They established full control in record time, and the land was reclaimed, cleansed of the criminals who had taken it over.
So we've just looked at two completely different operations, right? But what's the core idea, the philosophy that's driving all of this? Well, it really comes down to a simple but really powerful concept.
It's called the security equation, and it's right at the heart of modern counterterrorism. The logic is actually pretty straightforward. Every single time the number of fugitives out there goes down, the safety of society goes up. Each criminal they catch isn't just one win, it's a strategic blow that weakens the entire network.
chips away at their power, and actually makes the next mission that much easier. It's a strategy of chipping away, one piece at a time.
But here's the thing. All this amazing technology, all these advanced tactics, that's only part of the story. What turns out to be the key partner, the real secret ingredient to success, is the average citizen. The police say their efforts just can't be completed without the people. Everyday citizens become the eyes that watch for every fugitive, which makes public cooperation the final, absolutely essential piece of this whole security puzzle.
And this commitment, it's all sealed with this incredibly intense promise. The Magic and Beauty Outpost was just one of dozens like it. The whole mindset of the forces is right there in this oath. I swear by God, whoever approaches this land, I will remove them from the face of the earth. Wow, it's a pretty stark declaration of just how determined they are.
And this brings us to our final thought. We've seen facial recognition, 3D mapping, elite tactical units, the whole shebang. But we've also seen that none of it is really considered complete without public trust and cooperation. So it kind of leaves us with this massive question for modern security, right? In this age where threats are always changing, how critical is that partnership between state-of-the-art technology and a public that is actually engaged and involved?
The strategy we've looked at here is really one of total defense. It's where technology and people come together to become the eyes that guard the nation. And it's a powerful reminder that when you're facing modern threats, security is truly a shared responsibility. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.